I'm Jackie Lacie, and I'm running for District Attorney of LA County.
Okay, now what makes you a great candidate for this position?
Well, I think it's my qualifications as well as my temperament for the job. For the last 27 years, I have worked my way up from the bottom, doing municipal code cases all the way to the top. I'm the number 2 person in the office, and so I've had 15 years of trial experience and 12 years of leadership experience, and I have created innovative programs to help deal with a lot of the lower level offenders, and I believe I'm supported by the leaders in the office and the leaders in the criminal justice field.
And who are you running against, do you know?
Well, you'll have to check out my opponent. He's a trial lawyer in the office, and my position is that what distinguishes us, the difference between the two of us is he has trial experience, so do I, but I have the leadership experience to help run that office. It's a law office, it's the largest office in the nation.
And why is leadership experience so important for this position?
Well, everything, the success of everything rises and falls on leadership. And I was having lunch with someone today, and who owned a company, and we were just talking about it. There's so much that happens behind the scenes to make an organization successful. You have to know not just criminal law, you have to know employment law, you have to know about legislation, you have to know about budgets and grants, and there's a lot that goes into it. And you have to be the kind of person who inspires others to do well. And it's such a science. It takes a while really for you to learn how to inspire people. And we're talking about 1,000 prosecutors, 800 support staff, and we have our own in-house police force. So we have 300 investigators, and it's quite a challenge, and a challenge that I have met over the last 12 years.
And what are the kind of changes you wish to bring into the organization?
Well, one of the things I want to do is expand the use of alternative sentencing courts. I want to make sure that every neighborhood in LA County, because LA County is huge, it's 4,000 square miles large, and I want to make sure that every part of this county has a safe community where kids don't have to fear gang crime, where our seniors don't have to worry about being abused financially or physically, and about a place where you and I can go to a restaurant, not worry about our identity being taken. So the changes I would like to see made are those that would affect those particular areas. Expanding alternative sentencing courts for people who are suffering from mental illness or drug addiction is the way to go. And informing our elders about all of those crazy scams that are out there, and of course protecting our children. Right. Well, this is the first time I've run for office, so I've actually fulfilled promises before getting into public office. I helped create the first animal cruelty unit of its kind. I helped obtain the first conviction for a hate crime murder case based on the person's race in LA County history. I was part of the team that created Women's Reentry Court, Mental Health Co-occurring Disorders Court, courts for veterans. So I already have a resume of things that I've accomplished. Right now, my current job as chief deputy is actually helping to run the day-to-day operations. And every leadership job that I've had over the last 12 years, I've actually proven myself and advanced up the ranks. And that's what makes me different from my opponent. He's promising exactly the same things, and he's done none of the things that I've done. I have proven myself as a leader, and that's the biggest difference between myself and my opponent. Currently, I am a volunteer teacher at Lorena Street Middle School, or elementary school, in Boyle Heights, and I've been doing that for the last 5 years. I think that's the best crime prevention program, because you need to get to kids before they get into middle school in the 5th grade. And as part of our Project Lead program, I teach them about how to stay out of gangs, why they need to stay away from drugs. I talk to them about graffiti. I talk to them about staying in school, listening to their parents, and I think that's the best crime prevention. And really, when you think about it, just being exposed to someone who is a professional, such as myself, who came from a similar neighborhood. I came from the Crenshaw district, and when I look at these kids, I have so much in common with them. My parents were not at all wealthy. They migrated here from the South, and all they wanted for me was a better life and education. And I hope when kids look at me, they say, I could be like her. I could be a lawyer. I could be a judge. I could be, a police officer. And that's the whole point, is being able to get kids who are at that impressionable stage, see beyond their neighborhood, beyond their circumstance. And I think that's the best crime prevention thing that we can do. We've got to get to kids before the gang members get to them, before their crazy peers get to them.
Perfect. Anything else you want to add for our viewers who will be electing or choosing the district attorney? Anything you want to tell them, and why should they care to go vote?
Right. The criminal justice system is one of those things that everybody talks about it without even realizing it. We see an arrest on television. We see a slow speed chase. We all look to see what happens. The newspaper writes about crime in the criminal justice system all the time. We have 2 things on the ballot this election cycle: the 3 strikes law and the death penalty. And so these are important issues for everybody, particularly people of color. And so it is important, because the district attorney has so much power and so much discretion, that people participate in this election. Because what they're doing is they're electing the leader who will have the discretion to set policies that are tough on crime, but fair and just. And so often we don't see that, and we don't have that opportunity. So it's very important for them to vote. I am the right candidate for them. I've proven myself, as I said before. I'm endorsed by the Los Angeles Times. I'm endorsed by L'Opinion. I'm endorsed by many leaders throughout the community: Supervisor Gloria Molina, the mayor, and many other leaders that I think people respect. And that's because I have made the case to each of them that I am the right candidate for the job. Another thing that distinguishes me from my opponent is oftentimes in the criminal justice system there are collateral consequences that occur with a felony plea. And that's where the punishment for a particular crime is much worse for someone who has a special job, or who's not a citizen. And so we have a policy in the district attorney's office that takes that into account. And I will ensure that that policy is enforced, that people are trained on it, and that our lawyers understand it and know that we do take into account those in consideration. Okay. And then the second thing is that I think it's a public safety issue, and I support driver's license for people who are undocumented workers in this county. I think it's the way to go in terms of everyone should be able to get a license and test it and have insurance, so that we make sure our roads are safe. And that's another thing my opponent is just not willing to say or support.